WCIA 3. You're watching The Morning Show from your local news leader.
Welcome back. There is a new material research center at U of I.
And Nadia Mason is joining us to talk all about the new research center. So first and foremost, what is it going to be about?
Okay, I'm really
so excited.
I'm so excited about this.
We're jumping out of our seats here.
So this is a National Science Foundation funded $15.5 million research center to study innovative new materials.
Amazing.
Right? So it's called a Materials Research Science and Engineering Center, otherwise known as a MRSEC, and I am the new director of this.
Congratulations. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Not surprising.
It was a team of 15 people, 8 departments, really interdisciplinary, and we work together to understand fundamental materials problems that eventually will help us in society, will help us lead better lives. And that's the goal of this, new fundamental research that helps us lead better lives.
Absolutely.
Right? So I just wanted to give an example of what I mean by innovative materials. So I told them about this, and they said, "Well, what's an innovative material?" Right? So
we're gonna learn.
Gelatin.
We're gonna learn gelatin, right? Oh, that's an old material. Okay, so the example I want to give is wearable electronics. This is something that we're looking at in this grant. We're looking at bendable materials, and so you can see something like a wearable electronic. That's my Fitbit, right? It's great, and I love it, and it tells my heart rate and how much I sleep, but it doesn't conform really well to my body. And so you might want to have other electronics that really conform to your body. And the reason this doesn't conform is that it's made of hard materials, like metals and semiconductors. So you can take something like this rod, right? This is a hard material, and it's not very flexible.
Right.
You could try to bend it, but it's not going to bend. Okay, so how do I make this flexible? How would I make something like this flexible?
Good question.
Right.
I don't know the answer. I don't know.
We don't know the answer. We're hoping you'll tell us.
The answer is really simple. You do know it when you see it, right? I can make it thinner. Right? I can take something that's thinner than that or smaller, and now it's flexible.
Right.
Okay, so I can make materials that are rigid more flexible just by making them on the nanoscale. It's something we're doing. But you have to be careful, because if I make it too thin, like something like this, it breaks. Okay, so the goal is to make materials that are flexible and strong on the nanoscale for these sort of electronics. Right?
Cool.
Now, if you notice the things that we wear, they're often like clothes. They're soft. They crumple, they uncrumple and stuff. And so I can take a metal, a well-known metal, tin foil, and I can crumple it.
Right.
And that's good, but now it's crumpled, not very comfortable.
Right. Oh, yeah,
Kind of itchy, actually.
Yeah.
So what we really want to do in the materials research is make materials that can crumple and uncrumple controllably, again, at the nanoscale. So here's an example of that. So I can just take the tin foil and put it on rubber, right? And now it crumples and uncrumples. So we can interface one material with another. Oops, that was okay. We don't want to. I brought two.
So we can put it on our wrist,
right? Yeah, look, it looks similar, right? So now it bends with you. You can put on your wrist. You can make clothing and stuff out of it. So as you make things like this on the nanoscale, interfacing one material with another, you can change their properties and make them conform better.
So your plant isn't foiled yet.
It'll never be foiled.
There we go.
So the last thing I wanted to mention is that, so, you know, this is nice having wearable electronics, but the thing that will really revolutionize our lives is having things that interface with our bodies, like pacemakers that are deformable, or things that go into our brainwave seizures that can release drugs in a controllable way. And the research challenge there is making sure that our cells interface with hard materials, which is really hard to do, it turns out. So as an example of that, I take say a piece of metal, right? And this is just like a hard material. And if I try to interface it with, say, our cells.
Jello.
But it's like our cells, right? I try to stick this onto each other, and it slides off.
Right.
Okay, so it's really, you can see it's hard to interface soft things with hard things. But if I change the material properties, let's say I change the properties of one, and I put it on there, I can get it to stick.
So that's a cold one, right?
I added more gelatin.
Okay. I was gonna say, how did you do that?
I added more gelatin. So it turns out, and that's actually a material property,
that's so
right?
cool.
You can modify materials to get them to behave differently and do the things you want. And this is what we're doing in this center. That's what I mean by innovative materials, changing their properties and trying to do things better that have a better effect on us and our lives. So medicines, electronics, wearable things. And I also want to mention that this center has a really strong integrated education and outreach component. So look for the Illinois MRSEC in the community. We'll be out there. At least 6 years of funding. We're really excited. So.
Well, Nadia, that's so exciting for you. We're very excited for you.
Yeah, we are.
You have a lot going on, and congrats, and good luck with the center. I'm sure it'll be very successful. And if you guys have questions for Nadia, Matt, or Jeff, you know, we want to know
about the new center. Questions.
Yeah, things we can apply.
.edu. That's right.
Absolutely. Send us your questions for the wise guys or wise women, as we like to say. We'll be right back with more of The Morning Show.